In the news this week, Sakia Starmer apologises for visiting a Bible-believing church, Evangelical leaders speak out against a conversion therapy ban, and a Christian campaign is launched to ban gambling adverts from sport. Hello. Sakia Starmer's apology for visiting a church which teaches the biblical understanding of marriage has been branded an insult. The Labour leader was criticised by LGBT activists within the party for visiting Jesus' House for All the Nations because the church did not align with their values on conversion therapy or LGBT+ equality. The senior pastor of Jesus' House, known for his biblical stance on sexual ethics, said the church has been subject to vile and abusive language in the courtroom of social media because of Starmer's actions. Writing in The Spectator, Brendan O'Neill said, "The Christians at Jesus' House are guilty of nothing more than holding traditional Christian beliefs." And Graham Miller, CEO of London City Mission, said Sakia owes Nigerian Christians an apology. Two evangelical leaders have spoken to the Christian Institute about their concerns that a proposed ban on conversion therapy will target the ordinary work of churches. LGBT activists such as Jane Ozanne are putting pressure on the government to make changes to the law, including banning prayer for people with unwanted same-sex attraction. Graham Nichols, director of Affinity, and John Stevens, national director of FIEC, told the Institute they believe such a broad ban would criminalise preaching, prayer and pastoral care. Simon Calvert spoke to the Affinity director via Zoom.
I and the network of churches I represent would not for one moment argue for any kind of right to coerce or to harm or to bully people, to persuade them to do anything against their will. But we're just looking for the freedom to do what churches have always done, explain what the Bible says, apply and connect it with people's lives, and sometimes, when asked, to pray that people would be given the help from God to do what the Bible says.
Downing Street has dismissed plans by the Mayor of London to look into weaker laws on cannabis. Reacting to Sadiq Khan's proposal to establish a London Drugs Commission, Press Secretary Allegra Stratton said it was not a matter for his office and would be a waste of time. The Prime Minister has spoken about this on many occasions. Illicit drugs destroy lives, and he has absolutely no intention of legalising cannabis, which is a harmful substance. And finally, a number of Christian groups have joined forces to campaign against betting advertising in sport. StopBettingAds.com is supported by the Church of England and organisations including Ambassadors Football and Share Jesus International. They highlight that problem gamblers are 8 times more likely to have attempted suicide than the general population, with 1 in 5 having considered taking their own life. Director of Share Jesus International, Andy Frost, said gambling advertising presents betting as a bit of harmless fun, and yet lives are being destroyed and futures severed. The impact of this addiction is far-reaching, and legislation must step in to prevent further lives from being lost. National Director of Ambassadors Football, Martin Bateman, told the Institute that gambling can cause long-term harm not only to the gambler, but their families, friends and community.
Worldwide, more people watch the Premier League than any other league in the world. And so it has a place in society which has real influence. And the link between gambling and football is an issue because problem gambling exists and it has massive influence. We want to break that cycle to say it's not right to have such a strong link between football and gambling, and breaking that will enable less people to get so involved with gambling that it can affect them in a really negative way.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.